We like to present our paper Breaking Through Escalation of Commitment and Groupthink in Cyber Risk Management by the use of IE coaching. And we wrote this paper together with Artan Belakuyu, Thomas Pyle, Joa Reis Nombre dos Santos, Jan Iones Sevaldalkis, Charlotte Hofmans, Jan Treur, and Peter Rosma. In this paper, we explore how IE coaching can enhance decision making in cyber risk management, particularly how IE coaching can be used to focus on overcoming cognitive biases that often occur in cyber risk management, like escalation of commitment and groupthink. Escalation and commitment and groupthink can hinder effective cyber risk management. They may cause teams to stick to failing strategies and suppressing dissenting opinions. In particular, we focus on using AI in Rasmussen risk model decision approach. And Rasmussen's approach is a data-driven approach helping to break and guide the operational decision process. In particular, we use and apply the temporal causal network-oriented approach. It is an approach where Jan Treur has been working on for a long time, and we apply his modeling approach to this situation. You see here an adaptive network-oriented model with a base level. The base level represents several states of the network that can occur. For example, the control and management of the cybersecurity risks, and there also can occur on the base level certain incidents, for example, an accident or a threat or a cyber attack can occur here, and the reactions on that can be modeled on the base level of a network. Then on the second level, you see an adaptation level. There it models the things that can happen on an adaptation towards that event, for example, forgetting or stress, or things that are not going well, for example, the development of certain aspects which should not be doing, or should not be going towards the scenario or the incident response plan that was agreed on and that was accepted. Then the higher level, the control of the adaptation level, there it is the reaction towards the events that happened on the adaptation level, and certain corrections can take place here. The temporal network-oriented model has been applied in many situations, and one of the things that I've done is that I have connected this model towards cybersecurity risk management using the modeling approach of Jan Treur. And in this study, we extended further towards the issues of groupthink and escalation of commitment and other biases that may occur in the risk management happening in certain situations of threat attacks. We will describe, using the network-oriented approach, the following scenario with several states. The states are important concepts in the network-oriented modeling approach that are connected through different connection weights to each other with different speeds and also different thresholds before a certain activity can take place. And applying this approach to risk management of cybersecurity is innovative and an important way to model and predict and also explain to certain events in cybersecurity risk management. See here the table with a network-oriented scenario with several states, and you see the blue states that are the base states as described in the earlier picture, the lower level, and the beige colored states are the first order self-modeling with different wave states, and also the green aspects in the table refer to the second order, the adaptation of the adaptation level states, which are in green. You see the first stage is X1, which a cybersecurity team is working in a night shift. Cybersecurity risk management team is working in a night shift monitoring events. Then X2 is the cyber attack that takes place, and X3 state is the team member is responsible for identifying and predicting an incoming cyber attack. X4 is the state The predictor communicates the threat to the supervisor seer. X5 is the state where the supervisor commands the executors to protect the system from the cyber attack. Then state X6 is the executors directly respond to the cyber attack. X7, the initial procedures fail to defeat the cyber attack. And there is a failure happening, the incident is happening, taking place, that the procedures fail to defeat the cyber attack. X8 is the state where groupthink occurs. The group has a kind of fixedness and they get into a situation that new information is difficult to get in. And here the use of IE coach is modeled in X9. The IE coach interferes here to break through the groupthink and help the team to go through this. X10 state is the team diagnoses the situation. And X11 is the team describes a goal. X12 is the state where the team decides to make a plan and assesses the decision making to achieve the set goal. X13, the executors execute a new plan and defeat the cyber attack. This is the base level, and on the second level, the adaptation, there you see the state that X14 is the experience of stress by team members, and X15 is the team learning how to move from diagnosing the situation to describing the goal. And X16 state is learning how to move from describing the goal to making a plan. And X17 describes the state learning how to move from making a plan to executing a new plan. X18 is the third order, the adaptation of the adaptation, the control of adaptation. Is X18 a speed factor of experience stress by team members? X19 is a speed factor of moving from diagnosing the situation to describing the goal. And X20 is the speed factor of moving from describing the goal to making a plan. And X21 is the speed factor of moving from making a plan to executing a new plan. A number of simulation experiments have been performed. The initial value of the weights X7 to X10 we based on 0.5 because the cybersecurity team works at a night shift and is stressed and tired at the beginning of the scenario. The initial value of the cyber attack is 1 because the cyber attack is strongest when it starts. All the other initial values were 0 because the night shift only impacts tiredness and stress. The graph represents the activation values on the vertical states of different states over time. It is the horizontal axis in the context of a cyber attack scenario managed by a cybersecurity team with the aid of IE coaching. Each stage shows a different pattern reflecting the specific role and the response of time each stage in the cyber attack scenario. A number of observations can be made in the figure. X2, the cyber attack, starts at the peak, representing the occurrence of a cyber attack. The decline indicates the effectiveness of the team's response. X7, the initial response fails, peaks slightly, indicating a failure in initial procedures, and then declines as new strategies are implemented. X8, as the groupthink, shows initial activity, but the decline suggests effective mitigation through IE coaching. X9 is the IE coach intervention, maintains a higher value longer, indicating the continuous role of artificial intelligence in guarding the team. X10 is the diagnosis and planning. This reflects the team's strategic planning influenced by IE coaching and shows a decline as the plan is executed. The graph illustrates the dynamic response of cybersecurity team to a cyber attack, emphasizing the rapid decline in the activity stage as the team, aided by the IE coaching, and this effectively manages the situation. The role of IE coaching is highlighted by the higher values in states like X9, indicating ongoing support and mitigation of groupthink. This supports the study's findings of integrating IE coaching in enhancing decision making and response strategies in cyber risk management. The simulation was plotted with role matrices in a separate tabling and modeling. We have run several other simulations. Here you see the graph of the third simulation, and we map the effect of a slower and later IE coach activation but also a weak understanding of the cybersecurity team of a knowledge-based approach. We did this by lowering the incoming connection weights for the knowledge-based approach states, X10, X12, X11, and X13. This represents the worst response to cyber attack and the highest risk. We also performed several what-if analyses as a way of cyber risk assessment to analyze the process more. It was analyzed how important outcomes of what factors like groupthink or defeating the cyber attack depend on some crucial characteristic like the threshold of the AI coach intervention, the connection rate of incoming connections, and team decision making phases. And in a paper you can read how these what if analysis successfully gave more deeper insight in the risk assessment situation. A second what if factor is used for the weight of connecting the incoming connections. There are states that represent the process of cybersecurity team switching from the skill-based approach to a knowledge-based approach as described by the Watt Rasmussen model. Several conclusions can be drawn from these simulation experiments. First, we see that applying the network-oriented modeling approach is a successful venue for refined cyber risk assessment. This is needed because there is an increased vigilance needed to assess the vulnerabilities and particularly the interaction of vulnerabilities that take place in cyber risk management. And network-oriented modeling is a systemic approach which can adequately describe and adequately predict several occurrences and activities that take place under different conditions of characteristics of the context. So the network-oriented modeling approach is an innovative, new and promising approach for analyzing the risk assessment aspects of cybersecurity. And also a second conclusion is that AI coaching is successful in helping breaking escalation of commitment and groupthink and other biases that occur in cyber team risk management decision making. And this combines together that this approach is promising for use of cybersecurity risk management of the future. This leads also to several promising research ideas for future research, particularly the role of AI in long-term and in several discussions about the function allocation or what things the humans should do as a team decision making and what the aspects should be done by the artificial intelligence support. Also, a role of future research is to assess refined probability assessments like Monte Carlo experiments or increased use of probabilistic aspect in the network mental modeling orientation approach. Well, if you have further questions we'd like to discuss with you, and please raise your hand or give indication that you'd like to discuss with us. Thank you very much.